Hey, Rainbow here, and welcome to my channel. Yeah, you got it right. The Ducati Multistrada V4S is eventually going to be going away because I have agreed, well, let's not say agreed, I have chosen to trade this in on a Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak version. Let's discuss it. Okay, so a few months ago, before they were released, I did a video, it's linked above here, comparing the Ducati Multistrada V4, the 2021-2022 version, against the proposed, soon-to-be-out Pikes Peak version. And it was very interesting because afterwards, it really got me thinking, why would I trade this in? And I believe it was Motorcyclist magazine, they talked about it and they're like, is the Pikes Peak version worth the extra money? And the kind of answer was, no, not really. It doesn't maybe make a rational, it's maybe not a rational decision. But I'm gonna ask you a question. Since when have motorcycles ever been a rational decision? All right, there's a good question for you. Now, maybe you live somewhere where you ride your motorcycle year-round, like I do, to work every single day, like I do, except on really harsh, rainy days in the summertime. It's kind of difficult in South Florida. It's just an inconvenience. But if you're gonna buy a motorcycle for rational purposes, for commuting because they're less expensive and to save money on gas, you're not gonna get this model for saving gas. This is not the bike you get because you want to get good gas mileage. This is the kind of bike you get because it's a lot of fun. So let's talk about why I'm willing to pump out some extra money and pick up the Pikes Peak version. Number one, I'm going to tell you right off the bat. We're probably going to send this thing is probably going to go to auction, number one. Number two, I'm not getting rid of it. I'm keeping my panniers that come with this, and I believe they still fit. I'm also going to be keeping, if you can hear that, my engine guards. If they fit on the Pikes Peak version, hopefully they do. So I'm going to keep these and I'm going to keep my panniers. So this bike will be sold without the panniers and without the engine guard because they're really not going to make that much of a difference with the price. So, okay, let's get to the meat and potatoes. Why the hell do I want the Pikes Peak? Well, because it's really not rational. Here's the thing. I've had this for a little over a year. I already have just about 24,000 miles on this bike. Original engine. I really took care of it. I'm on my third rear tire. I'm on my second front tire. The bike, ultimately, since it was fixed, since this right here was fixed, and it fixed all of my problems between the throttle body adjustment and changing up the switch, this bike has been perfect. And the reason why, or there's actually many reasons why I'm going to go with the Pikes Peak version. I'm really looking forward to, this is an extremely nimble bike. I'm looking forward to even more nimbleness with the Pikes Peak version, going from that 19 down to a 17-inch front wheel. That'll also open up the spectrum for me to have more tire choices, to have a match set, which I don't have a match set right now. So I'm gonna be able to have more tire choices. I do want that fatter, bigger rear tire that comes with the Pikes Peak version versus this. I've sat on both bikes. Obviously this one I've been riding for a long time, but I sat on the Pikes Peak multiple times, and the riding position is a little bit different, but it's not too different to the point where it's going to be uncomfortable. It's still very comfortable, yet slightly more aggressive if you want to take this to a track. Now, do I want to take a $30,000 Pikes Peak version to the track? Probably not. But there are places that I can take it that I'm going to have a lot of fun with. So I don't want to end up having this bike after 2 years with 50,000 miles on it and it's really not worth much of anything, and then I'm always, oh, should I have done this? I'm at a point in my life, and this has a lot to do with it for those that are, I'm single. I don't have a girlfriend anymore even. I have no wives. Got rid of 2 of those. The kids are older. They're on their own. I'm getting closer towards that retirement age. And I want to enjoy my life. And that's one of the reasons why I want to get the Pikes Peak version. It's sportier, but it still has the same comfortability, if that's even a word, that this thing does. Okay, sure, I'm not going to have that 19-inch front wheel, but it never really came in handy because even with the clearance, even with a 17-inch wheel, I could still go up and over curbs and all that stuff because of the clearance. So the bike is still going to be very versatile. I don't really intend on taking it off-road, but you know what? The Pikes Peak version, if you want to take it on a gravel road, it's not going to be a problem unless you have slicks on it. The only time you're going to have slicks is going to be when? If you take it to the track. So the adjustability in the suspension is a big selling point to me because right now we have no preload adjustment at all on the front suspension. The only preload is really on the rear. With the new Öhlins that's going to be put on the Pikes Peak version, you have full adjustability front and rear. Something that you don't have here, but what we have here is actually fantastic because the preload really is just on the rear, but your dampening and rebound you can of course adjust electronically here, and it really helps significantly. The way the Pikes Peak feels to me is that it's, again, slightly more aggressive, but yet at the same time it's still comfortable. I did a 3,000-mile run with this bike. I took it all the way to Austin, Texas, ran around Austin, Texas, and I came back. I spent a week on this bike. You guys saw that video. I probably will forget to link it up, but you can check my channel about my trip to Austin, Texas. So these are very versatile motorcycles. You can feel sporty with that 170 horsepower. You want to put a full exhaust on it and get the tuning. You're going to get more than 170 horse. You're going to get increased torque. This is a great combination because what I really wanted was a sport touring motorcycle, and I wanted this Ducati. So this is more of an adventure touring, but it's very sporty. So I kind of looked at this like it's more of a sporty touring because of how this thing handles and the amount of power and how nimble it is. And to take that to the next level with the Pikes Peak, I want to enjoy my life. That's why I'm going to the Pikes Peak version, and this is going to be going away. So this is going to go to auction sometime soon. Don't ask me when I'm getting the Pikes Peak. I put money down on it. I don't know. I'm on a waiting list like everyone else is. We'll see how many come in and how long before mine is available. Right now, I haven't asked the dealer how long it's going to be. I haven't inquired as if they heard anything. When it's ready and it's available, they'll let me know. Until then, it is what it is. I'm going to continue to ride this one. But I really am looking forward to having a newer bike. I can break in again, start getting those high miles on again. And I don't think I'm going to have quite as many miles on it as I put on this one because I got something else that's going to be probably distracting me a little bit. That's coming up in a couple future episodes. But ultimately what this comes down to is I want to enjoy my life. I'm at a point where I'm not paying for kids, I'm not paying for college, I'm not paying for wife to get their nails done and all this kind of stuff. It's just me in my house, in a small house at that, and that's it. So I want to have a good time. I want to relax. I want to enjoy the Pikes Peak version. So with that being said, what do you think? All right? Motorcycles in general just are not practical, all right? So rational decisions are kind of out the door. Who needs a Panigale that's over 200 horsepower? Who needs 214, 220 horsepower? Who needs a motorcycle that goes over 200 miles an hour? Really no one. Who needs all of that? No one. Motorcycles are they're an emotional purchase. It's about having fun. It's about recreation. It's like the person who goes and spends all that money on the bass boat or has the fancy car. I don't have a fancy car. I drive a Honda CR-V, okay? This is my outlet in life, and I want to enjoy my life. And I know that when I get rid of this, and I'm going to miss her, I'm going to have just as much fun with the new version, the Pikes Peak. That's going to be even more nimble, a slightly different riding position with race mode. That's going to raise it up even more. I mean, on this motorcycle, I am scraping pegs on left and the right side. This thing has 8¼ inches of clearance, and I am scraping pegs on this bike. So now I know why they have a race mode where it raises the suspension up even a little bit more, and the position of the controls and the pegs have come up a little bit and went back just slightly, because you're going to need even more clearance so you're not hitting those pegs and scraping. Anyway, what other kind of adventure bike could you routinely scrape the pegs in corners just with street riding alone? Okay? Easy with the bobbers and the cruisers, because you lean a little bit and you're scraping the pegs. It's a lot more difficult on these. That just kind of shows you how nimble and how sporty these bikes are. So to take this to the next level with the Pikes Peak, I'm really looking forward to it. I cannot wait. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping I get a tour of the Ducati factory, because coming up soon on this Monday, I'm heading over to Bologna. One of my other buddies who also has a Ducati Multistrada, he's from Italy, and we're both going to be in Bologna and going to go spend 2 weeks going throughout Italy, and hopefully we'll get a chance to get inside the Ducati factory and maybe even see the making. Who knows what they're making, but hopefully something. Anyway, this is Rainbow. Remember to please like, please subscribe. You may not agree with everything I say. I'm just being honest about stuff. If you don't, comment below. If you like what you see, comment below, like, ring the bell so you get updates. I certainly would appreciate it. We're coming up on 3,000 subscribers soon, which is kind of amazing me. Anyway, Rainbow, have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.